What do you mean you skipped your break? Nope, you take your break and let them deal with the hangers. OP responded and said, sadly, this job didn't care about laws. They waived lunches to 6 hours even if you said you didn't want to, had you skip your breaks, and when you told them you needed a break, they would tell you to finish an impossible task before you take your break. One of many reasons I'm so glad I don't work there anymore. Another commenter down below called Starfurry42 said, never skip your break or lunch. That time is sacred and must always be used. I have chewed out my wife, not that way you pervs, for skipping break at work if she mentions it. I always take my 2 breaks and lunch. On the rare occasion they ask us to skip lunch, they pay us an hour plus 30 minutes overtime and provide food. Yeah, this one really depends on where you are. I'm in Ontario, Canada, and the employer is only required to give you a 30-minute break for every 5 hours that you work. The 15-minute breaks are not mandated by law. They don't have to give them to you. So if they end up taking one away, there's literally nothing you can do about it. OP, if I were you, I would have figured out which one of those guys was higher ranked and do exactly what they said. And make sure everybody knew that that's exactly what you were doing. Because you're just going by the person with the most seniority in your store. This story comes to us from YTYS45. Suspended for being a minute late? Fine. Enjoy handling the biggest project without me. Hey there Reddit, I've been a long-time lurker on this subreddit, and after what happened at my job recently, I just knew I had to share my story. It's a bit of a long one, but trust me, it's worth it. So I'm Mark, and for the past 5 years, I've been working at this mid-sized tech company. It's been great, or at least it was, until 6 months ago, when we got a new HR manager, Susan. Now, Susan is the kind of person who loves rules a bit too much. She came in with this idea to revolutionize the workplace, but all she did was implement a bunch of unnecessary and strict policies. The one that really got under everyone's skin was her new attendance policy. It stated that if anyone was even a minute late more than 3 times in a month, they'd face immediate suspension without pay. No excuses, no exceptions. This was crazy, considering we're all seasoned professionals, not school kids. But Susan was adamant, and the policy was enforced to the letter. Now, I'm usually very punctual, but life happens, right? Just my luck, I ended up being late 3 times in 1 month. The first was because of a massive traffic jam, the second was due to a power outage that killed my alarm, and the third, well, I overslept. Each time, I was barely 5 minutes late, but Susan didn't care. She slapped me with a suspension notice. I was fuming, but then I remembered something important. Our employee handbook. I'd read that thing cover to cover when I first started, and something about the suspension policy stood out to me. I dug up my copy and found the section I was looking for. The policy stated that suspended employees must leave company premises immediately and are not allowed to engage in any work-related activities during their suspension. A plan started to form in my head. You see, at that time, I was in the middle of a critical project for a major client. It was a huge deal for the company, and I was the lead developer. Without me, the project would grind to a halt. So I decided to follow Susan's policy to the letter. The next day, I walked into Susan's office and handed her the suspension notice, along with a printed copy of the employee handbook suspension policy. I told her, as per the company policy, I will be leaving the premises immediately and will not partake in any work-related activities during my suspension, including the Johnson Project. The color drained from her face. "You can't just leave the Johnson Project," she exclaimed. But I just shrugged and said, "Company policy, Susan. I'm sure you wouldn't want me to break the rules." I gathered my things and left the office. The fallout was immediate. The project team was in disarray without me, and the client was getting antsy about the missed deadlines. The CEO himself called me 2 days into my suspension, begging me to come back. I explained that I was merely following company policy as enforced by Susan. Long story short, the CEO had to intervene. My suspension was lifted and I was back at work the next day. The best part? Susan's ridiculous policies were all reviewed and mostly scrapped. She's still within the company, but let's just say her enthusiasm for rulemaking has significantly diminished. So there you have it, folks. Sometimes following the rules a little too closely can be the best form of rebellion. And always, always know your employee handbook. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called the Greek Italian. It says, "You did the right thing. I would have walked out of there immediately as well, with or without checking the handbook. A suspension means not coming in, so why would you work?" Wait a second here. Did they actually think that OP was going to continue to work without pay? That's not what a suspension is. That's a suspension in pay, but if you're not paying me, I don't have to be there. I think there's a bunch of employees at this job that are getting screwed over by this boss, and maybe should be looking into the labor laws in that area. They might be entitled to a lot of money if they put in a bunch of hours when they weren't actually being paid. This story comes to us from HonestStar7348. Management says I'm losing my unused vacation days because of a new, unpublished handbook rule. Okay, I will comply with the rules of this new unpublished handbook, but these 4 paid unused vacation days will cost you thousands. I worked for a company with great pay and benefits, one of which was vacation days. I worked there for years without any performance or attendance issues. I was also an employee who would not work overtime. I give 100% while I'm there. That's all I have to offer. Other than that, no issues. Each year, I'd pre-planned my vacation days. We had to put our plans on a calendar for approval, and I wanted to receive my approval before confirming my plans. So, I did everything as early as possible. I had no vacation request problems for years, and did not hear of other employees having issues with their vacation time or pay. Then, one year, all of a sudden, after using all but 4 of my vacation days, management said I had no additional paid vacation time. I reviewed our online handbook, gathered my requested and approved time off, and checked my check stubs to verify the paid vacation days I'd taken thus far. I presented everything to management for research. My direct manager said he checked and I didn't have 4 additional vacation days. That wasn't good enough, so I asked him to forward it to his manager. His manager said the same thing. That wasn't good enough. Eventually, my concerns reached the center manager. The center manager called me into a meeting. I again presented my findings, showing I had 4 unused vacation days left. He then began discussing changes to our vacation policy while making eye contact and smiling. He turned his computer around to show me the new handbook they constructed, reflecting the new vacation policy. Wait a minute, what? There is an online employee handbook, yet I am supposed to go by a new handbook not known to the employees? Make that make sense. I politely said, okay, and walked out. I removed my 4 days from the vacation calendar. I then began chatting with the other employees to see the number of days they had taken for that year and the number of days they might have left. Conversations like, how was your vacation? How long did you stay? Are you choosing a different place to spend the rest of your vacation days? Asking these and related questions allowed me to calculate the number of vacation days they used or had remaining. I did not find one other employee having my issue with vacation time. I waited a couple of months and filed a lawsuit while working there. Other employees did not know about my lawsuit, at least not from me, but I'm sure management knew. The lawsuit discovery process revealed an email chain. The email chain showed the center manager directly asking human resources about my 4 unused vacation days, and human resources confirming that I had 4 unused vacation days. The center manager used a fictitious new handbook to cover his and other management's actions, denying my unused vacation time. Shortly after that, we settled, and they paid thousands for 4 unused vacation days. I had to resign, of course, and the center manager and other management lost their positions, retired, or quit. All I wanted was my unused, paid vacation time, but what I received was much more. Jumping down to the comment section on this one,